Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this very important severe weather briefing. So, the Storm Prediction Center has just upgraded portions of central northern Oklahoma and south central Kansas to a very rare level 5 out of 5 high risk of severe weather for today. And in the high risk, we have cities like Winfield, Kansas, Ponca City, Enid, Hennessy, Stillwater, Guthrie, Oklahoma City, and Norman, Oklahoma in the pink shaded area for today. We have a moderate risk covering much of Oklahoma in areas like Altus, Elk City, Lawton, Ada, Tulsa through Bartlesville in Oklahoma, up through areas like Independence, Fredonia, Eureka, Wichita, Kansas, and Hutchinson, Kansas. We have an enhanced risk of severe weather for much of Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, western Missouri, Kansas, southeastern Nebraska, in the orange shade area, down through Wichita Falls, Texas. A slight risk covering portions of Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, Nebraska, into South Dakota in the yellow, and a marginal risk from southwest Texas all the way through portions of North Dakota and southeastern Montana in the dark green area for today. And before we look at our tornado probabilities, we're going to be taking a look at some wording from the Storm Prediction Center, as this is very concerning. There is a high risk of severe thunderstorms over parts of western, central, and northern Oklahoma to south central Kansas. Summary: a regional outbreak of severe weather with multiple strong long track tornadoes, as well as very large hail and severe thunderstorm wind gusts is expected over parts of the south central plains from this afternoon through evening. So the wording from the Storm Prediction Center is multiple long track tornadoes and very large hail. So you need to be really preparing for this tornado outbreak across portions of Kansas and Oklahoma this afternoon and evening. Taking a look at our tornado probabilities, unfortunately, our high risk of severe weather is driven by tornadoes, where we have a 30% chance of a tornado touching down within 25 miles of a location in areas like Norman, Oklahoma City, Chandler, Guthrie, Hennessy, Stillwater, Enid, Ponca City, Hominy, Arkansas City, and Winfield. Make sure you're preparing for numerous tornadoes in the high risk today and numerous tornadoes of EF2 or stronger. And unfortunately, I do believe we will be seeing a couple of violent EF4 tornadoes today across this high risk area. We have a 15% chance of a tornado touching down within 25 miles of a location in the red shade area surrounding that, including Altus, Lawton, Ada, through Bixby, Tulsa, Bartlesville, Independence, Fredonia, Eureka, Kansas, Wichita, Hutchinson, McPherson. Make sure you're also on guard for numerous tornadoes and several EF2 or stronger tornadoes in the red shade area. Also in the red shade area, I wouldn't be ruling out a violent EF4 tornado either. Just make sure you have your tornado shelter plan in place today if you live across the high risk and moderate risk area. We have a giant 10% chance of a tornado touching down within 25 miles of a location across much of eastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, western Missouri, southeastern Nebraska, northeastern Kansas in yellow. In the hatched area, some of these tornadoes are going to be EF2 or stronger as well. So make sure you also have your tornado shelter plan in place if you live in areas like Kansas City, Manhattan, Salina, Emporia, Beatrice, through Joplin, Springfield, Fayetteville, and Fort Smith today. And then we have a 5% tornado risk extending down towards Wichita Falls, McKinney, Texas, through Jefferson City, Columbia, Kirksville, Missouri, Des Moines, Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. Make sure you're on guard for a couple of scattered tornadoes in the Brown area today. And we could be seeing an isolated tornado from central Texas through portions of Illinois, through South Dakota, even eastern Montana, and southwestern North Dakota today. Taking a look at our damaging wind threat now, we have a 30% chance of damaging straight line winds of 58 miles per hour stronger within 25 miles of a location across much of Oklahoma, Kansas, southeast Nebraska, western Missouri in the red. And if you live in the hatched area today, some of these wind gusts are going to be getting to 75, 80, 85 miles per hour in areas like Grand Island, Topeka, Wichita, Tulsa, Fayetteville, and Fort Smith. So make sure you're preparing for destructive wind gusts today across this region. We have a 15% damaging wind risk in the yellow area from North Texas through portions of Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Illinois, Iowa, and South Dakota in the yellow. Make sure you're on guard for scattered damaging wind gusts in the yellow area today, and an isolated damaging wind gust cannot be ruled out in the brown area either. Taking a look at our large hail threat today, unfortunately, large hail is going to be a big concern as well with our storms across Oklahoma and Kansas, where the Storm Prediction Center has issued a 45% chance of quarter-size hail or larger within 25 miles of a location in the pink shaded region. This includes areas like Altus, Lawton, Norman, Oklahoma City, Stillwater, Enid, Ponca City, Oklahoma, and Wichita and Hutchinson, Kansas. Make sure you're really parking your cars in the garage today, as we are going to be seeing multiple storms producing golf ball to tennis ball to baseball to softball size hail today. I wouldn't be ruling out hailstones getting larger than softball today. So you need to be getting your cars in the garage if you live across this pink shaded area today. We have a 30% chance of quarter-size hail or larger within 25 miles of a location, from Wichita Falls and Vernon, Texas, through Ardmore, Ada, Oklahoma, through Salina, Great Bend, Hays, Kansas, and Kearney and Grand Island, Nebraska. Make sure you're also parking your cars in the garage if you live in the red area or even the hatched area, as anyone in this hatched area could be seeing hailstones of golf ball to tennis ball to baseball to softball size today. 15% hail risk extending all the way up through South Dakota in the yellow, and a 5% hail risk in the brown today. So let's time out these storms to get an idea of when our worst severe threat is going to occur. So we could be seeing storms developing as early as 1 o'clock this afternoon across south central Nebraska through central Kansas. As they initiate, these are going to begin to produce very large hail of golf ball to tennis ball to baseball size. And then going into 2 o'clock, multiple hailstorms moving across central Kansas, south central Nebraska. And watch this development across Oklahoma. This is where we're going to start to see supercellular development as we go into about 3 to 4 o'clock. Could be seeing a lot of supercells developing in south central Kansas, north central Oklahoma, even north central Kansas. And then going into 5 o'clock, this is when we really see our threat ramp up. Could be seeing a supercell around Wichita, Kansas, but this could be really anywhere in the high or moderate risk area. And this is going to be producing massive hail and likely a tornado by 5 o'clock, especially these supercells in western Oklahoma. These are the ones to pay attention to as well. And then going into 6 o'clock, numerous tornadic storms will be moving across south central Kansas and northwestern Oklahoma, producing strong long-track tornadoes and giant hail of baseball to softball size. Going into 7 o'clock, Wichita, Kansas. It looks like an absolute mess in Wichita, Kansas. Giant supercell producing hail up to softball size and a potential strong tornado around Wichita, Kansas going into 7 o'clock this evening, and areas around El Reno, north of Oklahoma City, going into 8 o'clock. Could be seeing our tornadic storms approaching Oklahoma City from the northwest, moving into eastern Kansas, transitioning over to a line of damaging winds up through eastern Nebraska around Omaha. Going into 9 o'clock, extremely dangerous supercells approaching Oklahoma City, producing a baseball, softball size hail. Potentially, this is the storm that would produce a violent tornado, the Southern Charlie as we call it. And then going into 10 o'clock, our line of extremely dangerous damaging winds pushes through Kansas City into western Iowa, supercells pushing through Oklahoma City, and then we see our storms further south transition over to a line by about 11 p.m. And don't discount the damaging wind threat down here either. Tulsa down through Oklahoma City, we could be seeing wind gusts as high as 75, 80, 90 miles per hour with these storms. And we could be seeing isolated supercells developing ahead of this line as late as 11 p.m., moving towards northwest Arkansas, and then this line will rapidly push to the east through the overnight hours across Missouri and Iowa, northwest Arkansas, producing destructive wind gusts as it does so. So you need to be preparing for this tornado outbreak today across south central Kansas through central northern Oklahoma, as several tornadoes will occur today. Several will be EF2 or stronger, and I do believe we will see one or two violent EF4, maybe our first EF5 tornado across this region today. Thanks for watching. Please stay safe and have a wonderful day, my friends.